Hi, my name is Mark, and I am so glad you're here at _Freedom for Life _. This conversation today, I hope, is going to impact you because I believe it's going to be something important. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but there's some uncertain times that are happening. Frankly, they seem to be happening all the time. But I know a secret of something you can do in your life, something you can grab a hold of that will give you certainty in uncertain times. And I'm going to share it with you today. Hey, and as we're doing that, do me a favor, subscribe, be a part of the conversations we're having. We have them every week, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. But here's something I want to ask you. You notice the uncertain times are around us? I know you could probably pick any year at any time. There's certain things that you understand and things that are stable and okay, and there's other things where you're like, I just don't know what's going on, going through COVID or seasonal issues or political stuff or whatever, right? There's always opportunities to see uncertainty, to see things you don't know how they're going to turn out, whether in your own life, in your finances, in your job, in your relationships, or in the world around you. And in that place, it's interesting. I've been thinking a lot lately about that and the things that really keep me stable and foundational things that I can rely on and hold on to, even in those times when I don't know what's going to go on in my life. And here's the truth of the matter. I'm curious for you. What do you hold on to? When things are kind of shaking around you, when things aren't certain, whether it's a job or it's, whatever the thing is, your finances, your relationships, right? In those times when things aren't going right, what do you hold on to is that you can feel like you can center yourself, you can be stable even when things around you are kind of crazy? The older I get and the more I think about it, the more I'm actually grateful for the certainty I do have. See, I have a foundation of something that keeps me stable at all times and in all places. I couldn't have always said that, but nowadays I see it more and more that there's this foundation that I have that even when things are uncertain, even when I don't have the answers and I don't know what's going to happen next, there are things that I do know, and there's one thing that I can hold on to that keeps me certain in uncertain times. And the truth of the matter is, it's my relationship with God. The older I get, the more I'm absolutely in awe of the fact that in all of the seasons and times of my life where there's been tragedy or there's been successes, there's been good things or there's been horrible circumstances to walk through, in all of those times, the one thing that I have and am always counting on and always see in my life is the stability of the foundation of God in my life. Not my faith in Him or my stability in my Christian walk, but His faithfulness towards me. It's interesting as I look back on my life and the highs and lows, the ugly and the good, I see Him in every circumstance. In all of those circumstances, I've learned two things, one thing about me and one thing about God. The one thing I found out as I look back over all of that, the whole history, the testimony of my life, it's this, that I was actually stronger than I thought I could be. I actually didn't want to be in times. I didn't want to be strong. I didn't want to be carrying the load that I was carrying at the time, but lo and behold, I did. And the second thing, and the one I'm more and more grateful for, is the fact that God was always faithful and faithfully there through all of those times. It may mean a little or it may mean a lot to you, but it means everything in my life, that in the track record of the wholeness of my life, God has always been there. So as I walk through things today, I walk through with the wisdom of my past and knowing that the things that I walk through now, the things that are unstable and shaking around me have no impact like they used to, because I know who's with me. It's a foundation and understanding the goodness and the presence of God that I can count on Him in all times and circumstances. Truth of the matter is, you can't count on a whole lot of things out there. Maybe some relationships you have, but certainly not, the greater world. And sometimes, your nation, your political party, or what have you, right? There's all these dividing things that we have, but there's one thing that's unifying and one thing you can always count on, and that's the goodness, the presence, and the faithfulness of God. I know it in my own life, and I just wanted to share it with you because it's something I'm thinking about more and more as I'm getting older. I guess that's kind of where my life is going, that I'm looking at the trajectory of my life in the past that I've walked through, and in it I see time and time again this good God who's been there at all times and in all places. as I've walked through all of my life with my family, with my wife, in my job, in the business, in the ministry, in everything I've had, the one thing that's never changed is this presence and the stability of the foundation of this faithful God who's walked with me through it. I can't really give you anything else because you know what? Money, if you have a bunch of it, it can go in a minute. Or your home, I have a beautiful house, it can be lost in a moment's notice. Or a job, I could lose my job tomorrow. There's instability everywhere. There's uncertainty at all times. But the one thing that's certain is God never changes. And He's always who He says He is. He's always faithful, always loving, always there, always with you in all that you do. It doesn't mean we don't walk through challenges, but it does mean we have somebody walking with us. It's a huge deal in my life, no matter what I have, and I'm grateful for all I have. The one thing I'm consistently and constantly grateful for is God being in it. So you want to know how to be certain in uncertain times, how you can, in all places and in all ways, understand that you won't be shaken. It's in this, having God in your life is a cure for everything that's unstable, for all of the challenges and issues, for all of the shaking and quaking, for all of the uncertainty and worry. There's a God that will be there for you in all times. I'm not saying it to preach to you. I'm saying it just to give you a testimony of my life. And from my perspective, the one certainty in uncertain times is this: God is always faithful and He's always there. I invite you, if you don't know who He is, or you've not been with Him for a while, or if you've turned your back or kind of led your own life, come back to where certainty happens, and that's in His presence and in relationship with Him. I guarantee you, you won't regret it, and you'll see in your life the same thing I see in mine, a God who's faithful in all times and in all ways. Hey, I'm Mark. I'm glad you're here at _Freedom for Life _. Do me a favor. There's 3 things I'd love for you to do: subscribe, like, and share this video with somebody that you know needs stability, maybe in an uncertain time in their life. I guarantee you they'll be able to find it in God, and I know you will as well. So I hope you do that, and at the end of the day, do me a favor and dominate your day.